As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. I have come into this world so that those without sight may see. My brothers and sisters, the central theme of today's readings is that God makes everything new in and through Jesus Christ. We are children of the light, baptized into the glory that is Christ. We are initiated into the life of Christ, who is the light of the world. And today, very clearly, John presents Jesus as the light of the world. And by the way, Jesus as the light of the world is the second of the three baptismal themes given to us during Lent. We know that one of the purposes of Lent is also to make with us this journey so we can prepare ourselves to renew our baptismal promises, especially during Saturday, Easter Vigil Mass, during Easter Sunday Masses. The other themes are water, with the woman at the well that we contemplated last week, and life, with the rising of Lazarus from the dead, which we will talk about next Sunday. So in today's Gospel, we have heard a beautiful story about the cure of a man that was born blind. However, if we will read the Gospel carefully, we will notice that only the little attention is given to the actual healing miracle itself. The most important in the whole story that we have heard is that when the blind man is cured, he is able to see Jesus as his Lord, and he is able to believe in him. Something that the religious leaders were unable to do. And the purpose of emphasizing the fact that the blind man is able to see Jesus is to show us clearly Jesus as the one who is making the difference, as the one who is our light. The blind man lived in darkness. With Jesus entering his life, with him accepting him as a son of God, he doesn't have to live in the darkness anymore. He can see, he can live in light. Also, what we have to notice in today's Gospel is the explanation of the reason of the blindness of this man. The disciples ask these questions. Why is he blind? And immediately they said what was like the common thought at that time. Is he blind because of his sins? Or maybe because of the sins of his parents or his ancestors? And this is the question that even today a lot of people is asking. Why this or that happened to me? What have I done that this happened to me? Is it a punishment for my sins? Or maybe the punishment from God for the sins of my parents or ancestors? As we can see, these questions are not a new questions. even during the time of Jesus, the popular belief was, as I said, that there was a close link between sins and chronic sickness or disability, and that the sins of the parents could have their effects on their children. In today's Gospel, Jesus clarifies the meaning of the suffering in the life of the person. The blindness of the person has nothing to do with his sins or those of his parents. In this particular situation, he is blind so that God's power might be displayed in him. The gospel is very clear. He is blind so that God's power, God's glory might be seen through him. My brothers and sisters, as I said today, we are celebrating the fourth Sunday of Lent, the Sunday of joy. And it is a true joy to have all of you here at this church. But especially, it is a huge joy to have you, our brothers and sisters with the Down syndrome, with autism, those of you with different disabilities. It is joy to have your parents, guardians, takers with you. It is joy to have the representatives of the Down Syndrome Association in Grenada. It is a joy to have principal and students of Grenada School for the Special Education. On Tuesday, we will celebrate in the whole world the Down Syndrome Day. A few days later, the Autism Awareness Day. And because of that, this idea came to my mind to invite all of you for this Mass. The Mass that will be, and I hope is, the opportunity for all of us to pray together for that awareness in the minds of the people, to see the persons with different challenges, like many of you here, not as a burden, but as a valuable part of the society. The Mass that I hope is the opportunity for all of us to pray for that strength to see Jesus as someone who wants to put some light into the lives of the people who are struggling with the challenges that they have to face every single day. It was the idea to invite all of you for this Mass and to see this Mass as the opportunity when we will try to understand that through the suffering of so many people, through the disabilities of so many people in the world, God's power might be seen by others. And brothers and sisters, when I was at the seminary preparing to become a priest, during the vacation we are obliged to go to volunteer for some time at different summer retreats for different groups. And one year I decided to go to help with the retreat for the people with disabilities. And I will be totally honest with you, I choose that only because of the date that suited me. There was no any other reason. The retreat took place in the days that they suited me perfectly. And I didn't really realize what I was signing for. It was my first serious encounter with the people on the wheelchairs, with the people with Down syndrome. And after 2 days, I wanted to escape the place. After 2 days, I wanted to escape the place. Everything was so overwhelming. I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know how to talk to them. I was kind of scared. But you know what? After 2 weeks, I was completely different person. And this time changed me 180 degrees. I understood that my fear was there because I never had a chance to know the people like them closer. Until that retreat, I saw them, and I am ashamed to say that, as a different from the norm. After the retreat, I understood that we all are somehow different, but at the end of the day, what really matters is that we all are the children of God. And believe me, the amount of love that I experienced there and the amount of understanding from their side toward me not knowing how to deal with them, the understanding from their side towards my mistakes that I was making when I was dealing with them was enormous. I really wish all of the people was that understanding to the people who are making mistakes. My brothers and sisters, different doesn't mean not worth of living. Different doesn't mean not worth of existing. Unfortunately, some people doesn't see it this way. For many people, to be different means to be a burden. I have friends in Poland, a married couple with 4 children. A few years ago, they were expecting 1 more child. However, because of the age of the mother, there was a possibility that the child will be disabled. She had decided to have the child despite the fact that the doctors were not only proposing her, but were forcing her to do an abortion. She gave birth to a girl. However, as the doctor suspected, she was very, very sick. Some kind of syndrome. I do not remember now the exact medical name. But the doctors told the mother that her girl may not even last a day. It was one of those syndromes that are very, very, very bad, that the children used to, they are living a few hours. This girl lived 2 years. And that is true. Every day was a battle for her life. Mother was so tired. They were constant visiting the hospital. It was home, hospital. Even at home, when you were entering the home, you could say that this is a small hospital. However, this little girl, her name was Julia, was never considered a burden. You should see the amount of love that has been created within family, within friends, their friends, even nurses and doctors at the hospitals. Doctors and nurses at the hospital were amazed by the determination of the mother, and they were asking, where is she taking the strength to do all of this? And her answer was simple: my faith. After that profession of faith, after that testimony, after that, we can say, witnessing, some of the doctors, nurses said, I want to believe like you. And don't get me wrong. Someone can say it was a cross to have a child like that. And probably the person can be right. However, this particular cross led to resurrection. Through the whole situation, God's power has been seen. God's glory has been revealed. God's love has been spread. Christ, who is the light of the world, opened the eyes of so many so they could see, so they could not have lived in the darkness anymore. My dear friends with the Down syndrome, autism, with different disabilities, remember that you are not a burden. You have the purpose in your life. Believe that with the help of Christ, who is light, with the help of your parents, friends, teachers, caregivers, you are able to discover your purpose. Know that you are loved by many, and there is a place for you in our families, in our churches, in our society. Repeating after Saint John Paul II, we want to also assure you that by gathering here with you in this church, we intend to make your worries, your expectations, your gifts and your problems of our own. John Paul II said very clearly, in Christ's name, the Church is committed to making herself more and more a welcoming home for you. He said, we know that the disabled person, a unique and unrepeatable person in his equal and inviolable dignity, needs not only care, but first of all love, which becomes recognition, respect, and integration. And I would like to all of us to really remember that. Dear parents, guardians, caregivers, your life is not easy. And probably not once, but many, many times, you have asked yourselves, why me? Why this happened to my child? What have I done? Or maybe even why God is punishing me? Please, don't ask these questions. Try to find the strength to unite this cross you carry to the cross that Jesus carries to Calvary, with the understanding that although it is a heavy cross, and there is no doubt in it, although it is a heavy cross, it is also a cross that is full of love. On the cross at the Calvary, the fullness of love towards the whole world has been revealed. Fight for that same love to be revealed through your daily cross, through your daily particular situation that you are going through. Trust Jesus wants to open your eyes so you can see more than just the daily struggles. Accept him, believe in him, and remember what he said. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light.